Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis, and today we're going to be talking about Quant Network, aka QNT. So sit back, relax, and before we fully jump on into this video, I do just want to ask guys to please leave a like on this video. It does help the channel grow immensely, and of course I always do greatly appreciate that. And with that being said, let's just dive in. Let's talk about a few things. So first off, yes, we are seeing a slow bleed throughout the market. We're still seeing Bitcoin kind of bleeding a little bit, down about 0.35%, which is not much at all, but a lot of altcoins have been slow bleeding throughout the week. QNT sitting at number 64, if I could find her. So I actually just went right past it. So here we have it. So it's actually not 64, it's actually number 67. Small figures here, kind of really push it down. But, we are sitting at about $118 here. I seen it jump into like $117 on TradingView earlier. Honestly, we are still breaking those Fibonacci levels, and this is why I do think that lower prices for QNT will be breached. Of course, we are still seeing the holders tab continue its upward path. But again, this doesn't mean that we're going to see higher prices anytime soon. We still need the market to kind of settle down and choose a side. And that side is either downtrend or uptrend. And currently right now, it does not look good for Bitcoin to have a nice upward trend. So I am kind of sitting back, relaxing, and just waiting for those prices to be targeted. If we do see some major low prices, yes, I will be buying a ton of altcoins. QNT will definitely be up in my top 5 in terms of accumulation. But I do want to talk to you guys about the viewpoints here on what's happening. So first off, to understand what is happening within the fintech area of crypto, you got to understand that initially, crypto was created to kind of offset the idea of a crisis. For an example, 2008 was a very rough year for finance, hence why, Bitcoin started to be developed and deployed in around 2009. Now, ever since 2009 to now, a lot of things have been streamlined. We have been seeing a lot of growth. It's, far more than what we've seen initially. Like, I would say all of the events leading up to now have pushed us for regulations. I mean, I'm surprised that regulations were not talked about during the Silk Road days of crypto. I'm surprised that, we didn't really see a lot of talk around it and, more so, cracking down on regulations. But, we are seeing a lot more regulation talk now because we are seeing a lot more, I would say legitimate use cases come to fruition. More so, like for example in this tweet, this is coming from the Digital Pound Foundation's webinar on global settlements and the coming revolution in cross-border settlement. We're seeing a lot of stuff being implemented around that area of expertise, which is a $156 trillion market. When we are talking about this market is not going to be disrupted by digital assets without interoperability. This is also why I do hold QNT. This is also why I do put a lot of faith behind Quant as a company as well, because they are like a necessity in terms of this major market. We also look at things like QNT, comparing it to XRP and stuff like that, and not so much comparing, but kind of contrasting the idea on them working together and how massive of a partnership that is. We also look at a lot of the things that are happening within DeFi, NFTs, Web3, Metaverse, all this kind of stuff is huge for the future of crypto. And I want you all to understand that, a lot of this stuff will not happen without interoperability. So, having that interoperability coin in your portfolio might just be the best play yet. Now, let's actually talk about this. So first off, when we are talking about banks, so here comes the API standardization, shaping the financial services industry. So I've always discussed the idea on API gateways being the best thing, not because of their efficiencies compared to oracles and stuff like that, but it does allow for a seamless, connection. This, in my opinion, is going to streamline the process. We even see the role of standardization is to help streamline and simplify implementation across organizations and technologies to lower the total cost of ownership and create efficiencies across the ecosystem. This results in easier development, deployment, and integration into existing and new solutions. Having 1,000 plus banks enable a common service using 1,000 plus different versions of an API is not efficient. Standardization is a critical component to ensure consistency, compatibility, effectiveness, sustainability, and interoperability. And I want you guys to understand what they are basically saying here. They do not want 1,000 plus APIs. They don't want 1,000 plus ways to achieve interoperability. They just want one standardized way that is going to provide the most efficiency. And I'm not saying, okay, well, technically, I guess I am saying that QNT is the best Quant Network's overledger, if you will, is the best choice for this, because when you are talking about this, their API gateway is just as simple. It's a 3-line code, and it is perfect for interoperability, especially for these major banks. This is also why I say, pay attention to partnerships like, for example, SIA, and even Oracle and stuff. Like, these are connecting massive amounts of banks. And honestly, when we look at things like that, you got to realize that, just SIA alone connects to 500 plus banks. Those 500 plus banks could easily integrate over the same API format all seamlessly at once. That is huge. I don't think people realize just how massive that actually is. So when we are talking about, the things happening right now, especially in the fintech zone, you got to really understand that these API gateways are huge, especially for, leveraging this technology and really kind of connecting the dots here. And honestly, API standardization has been in full swing, similar to even, crypto adoption and crypto regulations. So, pay attention to things that are being deployed, especially from Quant's side. Like, Quant is truly, remarkable in the sense on what they are really kind of standardized in. More so, we always look at other things like the ODAP protocol, right? So first off, this goes back to 2020, November 16th to be, full on with this. We do see our attending IETF 109 to discuss our ODAP proposal with MIT today. Here you guys have it. So first off, understand that this gateway protocol is huge in terms of, what I just read to you guys in terms of APIs and stuff. But we do say must work if one or both DLTs are private interior resources externally inaccessible. Must work if one side is a legacy system. Must result in atomic settlement with sufficient evidence in case of disputes. Support for different client modes for resource access. See ODAP draft. Now this ODAP is huge. All right, here's the, out of scope blockchains and DLT systems, consensus and BFT protocols, POW, POS, etc., cryptocurrencies, tokenization, etc., incentive mechanisms, economic models, etc., zero knowledge proof, ZKP protocols, authentication and authorization protocols, concurrency control algorithms, identity management and privacy, etc., etc. And then we do see over here the gateway protocol general transfer requirements. And a lot of this is really kind of just what we see a lot from, CBDCs and stuff like that. I don't really need to read too much about this. You guys are probably all aware of this by now. But this last slide here is really kind of the big key component here. I mean, look at some of these major, companies that they have listed here. But also it's the idea that you need to understand that ODAP is a huge key part for, Quant. This is their gateway protocol, essentially. And when we are talking about ODAP, we look at this. ODAP interfaces are the open resource connectors that will connect a gateway to blockchains and any existing network/API. That is based on the standards from work done at ISO TC 307 which 57 countries are working together. Q&T CEO Gilbert Verdian is the founder of TC 307. This is that standardization model that I've been talking to you guys about. This is also that standardization interoperability, model that all banks will basically want to utilize if it is as efficient as they are saying. And this goes back to this image as well. But here are those members of the TC 307. This is a country-wide standard, and you guys could see a lot of the names here. I mean, these are huge. We even see the United States, United Kingdom, United Arab Emirates, Ukraine, Thailand, Switzerland. I mean, the list goes on and on here. I don't need to list them all. You guys obviously see them, all right? And we do see here, we know from submitted drafts via IETF, the Internet Engineering Task Force, Q&T is working on ODAP with MIT and even Intel. This is huge. Okay, I've discussed to you guys ODAP in the past. Obviously, this is a little bit older of information, but the reason why I bring this up is I want you guys to understand the sheer amount of volume behind something like this. I mean, this is already interconnected. This is the connection gateway to, in my opinion, blockchain technology and digital assets. And then, of course, again, ODAP, Open Digital Asset Protocol. Remember the name. It will change, our future. Here we have R3 Corda, SIA, Ethereum, Oracle, Constellation. I mean, these are huge names, of course, all behind Quant, because Quant is, of course, the interconnectivity layer between the banking legacy system and the future system. And we do see here, what HTTP is for the internet, ODAP is for digital assets. It truly is remarkable in a sense on what ODAP actually is and what Q&T actually is building. Okay, and we also look at some other things. For an example, here's something to consider. Q&T checks all the boxes discussed by these men. Watches and communicates all network activity, builds upon open standards, connects blockchains with traditional banks, utilizes cross-chain wallets, embeds a utility token. Remember, Web3 development is still at the infrastructure level. Crypto's biggest challenge in 2022 is to find a way to connect these blockchains and, more importantly, connect them to traditional systems as well. Interoperability is up next. Invest accordingly. And you guys could go check out this thread from Greg Lunt on Twitter. It's an incredible overall thread talking about some major high-figure individuals in this market, really discussing the need for interoperability and why it is such a big key aspect. And this is why when we are looking at the current prices of Q&T, so first off, really quickly, just to address, yes, we are breaking down below that $118 fractal, as you guys do see. Here we have it. Obviously, when we are talking about the next major target here, I do think that we could test $105. If that is broken, we will test these lower figures down here at about like 92, all the way to roughly, it's like roughly around like $89, almost $90 exact, with possible wicks even lower. Set your buy points accordingly if you guys do want to have some stingy bids here. I'm still looking at my demand zone because this demand zone has not changed at all, not until we do break over my key targets up here, which is of course the $154 to $177 level. Of course, anything above $178 is a perfect point for us to really kind of be back in on some nice upside potential for Q&T, but we have a long way to go. Honestly, like when we're talking about a lot of altcoins right now, I actually just addressed this even with XRP and HBAR. Like, this market's in a slow bleed. And, we really should be watching the dollar right now, the DXY. We should also be watching major indices and things that are happening around the world, because all of this kind of flows into crypto. You got to realize that everyone's kind of waiting for the next major bull run. Like, everyone is still calling for Bitcoin to 100K. Everyone's calling Bitcoin to 200K. Like, it's getting crazy right now. Like, in my personal opinion, like when we're talking about Bitcoin, I don't think that we have hit our low point just yet. Monday will be a huge telltale sign. Watch the indices on Monday. I think that tomorrow is going to be a big key day for us. I think that everyone right now watching this video should prepare accordingly. I think that you should have, possibly money on the sidelines if you do want to buy. Maybe you want to de-risk yourself if you want. I mean, I'm not telling you guys what to do. You guys could hold. I'm hodling. I'm not selling anything. I'm still hodling on the sidelines no matter what happens. But I will say this, right? When we are talking about everything happening, the indices and the dollar are going to be two big key factors to really kind of print a better picture for us. And honestly, when we are talking about tomorrow, I know that right now it is currently about like 5 a.m. on a Sunday. If we are talking about Monday, I'm going to be awake during the indice opening. I'm going to be, up at around 9:30 a.m., looking at the charts, watching them, because it's going to be a determining factor on if we do get this demand zone tested yet again, or of course if we do see stocks open bullish, which I am not expecting at all. If we do, hey, that's great, but for the most part, I'm expecting some bearishness on stocks. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on if you guys want more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, I hope that you all have a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.